So I want to start off this section talking about reminding you about how much time there is during the week. And I want to remind you because it is very important as we talk about doing other activities at school. And I know we've spoken about this in time management. You're going to hear this a lot, but there are 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, no matter what. And so, and if you're taking classes, remember, most schools, unless it's a lab, 1 credit of school equals 1 hour in class. So if you're taking 18 credits, if you're taking a 3-credit class, is usually 2 1.5 hour sessions that you'll be in class, and that meets twice a week, and that's 3 hours, and that ends up to be 3 credits. So point being is if you're taking 18 credits, which most students don't, 15 is what most students take. 12 will keep you full time at most colleges. So I'm going with 18 just to be on the high side. Yes, can you take 21? Yes. Sometimes there's students behind, or if you want to graduate early, you could do something like that. But 21 is usually the top. But I'm going to say 18 as a really full schedule. That's a good schedule. So if you're taking 18 credits. All right, well, you have to remember there's 168 hours in the week, 24 times 7. It's 168 hours that you have, and you will be alive on those 168 hours. So if you're taking 18 credits well, let's say you're sleeping 60 of those hours, all right? So you're talking 7 to 8 hours of sleep, 7 days a week. So let's say you're sleeping 60 of those hours. So that brings you down to 108. And then after taking 18 credits, you're now down to 90. You're down to 90 hours. And 90 hours in a week is a lot of time. That's the time you have to now make decisions because you're going to go to your class, and yes, you have a decision not to go to class. If you're like, well, I don't have to go to every class, you should go watch my video on go to class. But the rest of the time you have decisions. Now, during that time, you're going to study, you're going to party, you're going to eat, you're going to watch TV, you're going to play video games, you're going to talk on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So you have decisions to make with those 90 hours. But understand, 90 hours is 2 full-time jobs, okay? So, and I really want to start off with this and just talking about time is because, sometimes students are and sometimes parents too, by doing anything else, they're like, I just want you to study. I've had parents say to me, I just want my son or daughter to just study. That's it. Like I'll pay for everything. I'll pay for anything that they got to do. I'll buy their books. I'll pay for school. I'll pay for it. I just want them to study. And just understand, it's not realistic for a student to study all the time. It's just not, they're not going to do it. And so if a student studied 7 hours a day, all right, so they woke up at around classes. So on top of classes, if they studied 7 hours a day, which is from noon to 7 p.m. and didn't eat, drink, or do nothing but sit and look at the book, and they did it every day, Monday through Sunday, that would be another 50 hours of studying on top of school. They still have another 40 hours. They still have 40 to 50 hours to do something. So it doesn't sound like a lot of time, but and that's after sleeping too. So the point is they have to do something with that time, and that time will either be productive time or it will be destructive time. And when I say destructive, I mean it's going to be wasted. They're going to start developing poor habits with that time, because if they don't have anything to do, if you don't have anything to do, you're gonna end up doing something that you waste the time. You're alive, so you got to do something. So they end up wasting the time. They get hooked on TV shows. They watch marathons. I remember TBS did an Office marathon. I love The Office. It's probably not on when you're watching this video anymore, but I love The Office. And I remember what they did was ingenious. They changed the commercial times so that, normally when a show ends, they run the credits and then they go to commercial and then the next show starts. Well, what they did is they had more commercials in the middle of the show, and then what they did is that when the show ended, they just shrunk it down and they would start the next episode. Okay, so there's no commercial time between one episode and another episode, and I ended up sitting there for like 9 hours watching. I was like, I looked up, I was like, it's dark? I can't believe this. And I ended up spending like the entire day watching The Office, and not a good productive use of my time. So point being is you need something to do, all right? So joining clubs and doing other things on campus, it will definitely be beneficial to you. If you're not working a job, if you're working a job, fine. But even if you worked a job, even if you had a part-time job working 20 or 25 hours a week, you would still have time for a club or something else in your schedule. So joining a club on campus, By the way, joining something and just to be active, you don't have to be a Division I scholarship athlete to play a sport or join a club at college. Usually at the beginning of each semester, they have like a club fair or something like that where you can go and you can check out all the different clubs and sports and recreational stuff you can do. If not, I'm sure every school has a website. You can go on the website and look for extracurricular activities or things you can do at the school or events that are going on at the school. It's fine. So now, since this video is really on the freshman 15 and not gaining weight, we're going to talk about some of the active clubs and sports, but you could go and join whatever, anything, especially something if it's going to help you in your major, but something that you're interested in, something you're going to be excited to go to, not something that you're just doing to put on a resume. I mean, that's nice, but it's an extra thing, and so you want it to be something that makes your heart sing, something that's cool. Maybe it's a philosophy club or something like that. But being active, let's talk about the active clubs. So some things that you can look for. And you can go on. And now there's always the mainstream sports, okay? Almost every school is going to have, an extra, baseball or softball kind of league that they get people together. Maybe it's soccer, maybe it's football, flag football or something like that. Basketball, every school has a gym and there'll be people playing basketball and they'll get together intramural basketball. Or they'll have some kind of basketball team when maybe they even play some other schools that are local as far as that goes. A volleyball team. Maybe track or cross country, you could do that. Golfing, if that's something that you're into or you want to get into. And by the way, even if you're not into it, and you've never done it before, go try it. What a great time to learn how to golf than in college when you can mess it up and you can be good when you get into the business world. But maybe it's a sport you never heard of before, or maybe you check it out and you go, oh, let me go check it out. Rugby. I remember a lot of my friends got into rugby when I got to college. I was playing football, but I went to see some of my friends playing rugby. I was like, that's pretty cool. It looks fun. But dangerous, but fun anyway. But rugby, water polo. I know my college had like volleyball. If you don't know what it is, look it up. They had a ski club. They had a biking club. Maybe you can join crew and you can start rowing and doing that kind of stuff. So I remember crew at Rutgers, we had a river right there, and crew would go by. They got up early in the morning. They would do like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock practices before school. If you're an early morning person, you want to get your day off right and go row and be on the water, cool. Gymnastics, paintball. Maybe there's a paintball club at your school where they go and play paintball once a week, and maybe it might even be covered by your college fees. So look into that. Now, maybe it's not a sport. Maybe you just want to exercise, so you can look into, maybe there is a gym club. Maybe there's some people who get together every week and go to gym or wall climbing. I know there's a lot of schools that have like a wall climbing club or, that kind of stuff. Hiking, a hiking club where they just go out and they just go into nature and go walk and hike. Okay, like I know this CrossFit is big now. Those new races, a lot of those new races that just came out, like, there's the color runs. I'm going to actually participate in one this year, which looks exciting and fun. But like the Tough Mudders and the the Spartan race and all those kind of races now, where those are just people who just want to get out there and meet new people and have fun. So maybe there's a group that goes and does that. Maybe at your school there's a Zumba club or a ballroom dancing club or a Latin dancing club, hip hop dancing. Maybe you want to crunk. I don't even know how that goes. The crunking. That was probably really bad there, but hey, whatever. Or maybe you want to learn how to line dance. I don't know. Take advantage. And it's just something that you're doing, as long as you're doing something that helps you burn some calories and you enjoy doing it and it's fun for you. And these clubs will put you in contact with other great students who will push you, who will hold you accountable. It's like, hey, where were you last week? We did this hike, you didn't come, or what happened to you? And so not a negative pressure, but a positive pressure to keep you moving. And obviously, if you pick that club or you pick that sport or that activity to do, you're going to be around like-minded people. And you'll get to get some friends, all right? So and not only just have friends, but people who are going to motivate you in the right way. And you also get to burn calories, as I said, in a fun way. And try something you've never done before. The most stress you're ever going to have in college is college finals. I mean, that's pretty much as bad as it gets. You'll see people walking around, oh, I'm stressed. that's as bad as it gets in college. You know, grad school, maybe you have a thesis paper to write, you know, or something like that. Maybe you have a presentation to do in college. That's something that's stressful, but you know, that's it. Finals is stress. I wish I could go back to the time where my stress in my life was passing some finals. Okay, when you get into the real world and you have bills and you have a mortgage and you have car payments and you have a wife or a husband, you know, somebody else that you have to work with. You have children. You know, you have a career that you're trying to balance, and you know, and deadlines and all that kind of stuff. That's real stress. You know, a paper, a final, you know, it's not that bad. And so college is a great time. You know, when you have those real stressful things, like you can't say, hey, honey, we're not going to pay the mortgage, or I'm going to ignore my kids so I can go join a hiking club. Now you can manage your time where you can do those types of things, but college, you got nobody else to worry about. You want to do something, you go do it, and you have a lot of fun doing it. And maybe you will meet your husband or wife on a hike, or you know, in CrossFit, or you know, maybe it'll be your dance partner, or whatever it is you're doing. So college is time to try new stuff. Get out there. Don't be afraid to try something. If you don't like it, then drop the club. Whoever, it's a club. Who cares? So if you don't want to do it anymore, find something else to do. But that's the time to do it, and get you out there and having fun while you're you know, burning some calories, as opposed to sitting around in front of the idiot box, you know, watching TV on all day on Sunday or something like that, or fooling around on Facebook games. So join a club.